Thanks for staying with us. So our previous guest, Dr. Tolulokpe Okoigari, she's an executive director of Institute of Counseling in Nigeria. I know many of you would have probably want to reach her. Her website is www.instituteofcounseling.org. Please, you can reach out if you choose to. Her numbers are 081-845-75377, 801-845-75377, and her handle on Instagram is Tolu_the_fixer. So because it was a sponsored segment and it was important for her to share her details so that those of you who might need some kind of counseling can reach her directly. Now, moving on to our topic of today. And it's about a video we saw online. You know, there was a lady that was doing a video saying that people should stop saying their mind. In that video, she was expressing her views concerning the outspokenness of this new generation, how we raise each other, we raise our children to be confident. Speak your mind, they say. Don't let anybody hold you down. Say it as it is, you know. And we all grow up kind of learning that, you know, when we're relearning and unlearning ours as adults. They'll tell you, say your mind, wherever you are, speak up. Don't be pushed down, don't be coward. And then she's saying, don't speak your mind. Because if you speak your mind, people get to know your heart. People have something to pin on you. When you speak your mind in meetings, when you speak your mind with your friends, when you speak your mind in a marriage, when you speak your mind in different relationships, people can hold what you say against you. But how do we juxtapose that with the part of saying how you feel? Because when you speak up, that people can understand, they can learn from your own wealth of knowledge, they can learn from your experiences, and that's what Yourview is about, speaking up, speaking our truth. What are your thoughts on this? On this issue? Do you agree that we should speak up, or do you agree that we should hold or keep our silence, or silence is golden? Call us on the numbers on your screen, 081-076-41679, 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag yourviewtvc so we can read the tweets. Toby, you want to jump in? Want to start? I think I like starting with you today. You know, I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you agree that people should speak their mind, especially when they are they're in a relationship, or they're in some kind of fellowship, or in a meeting with people? Do you think they should speak their mind?
I think it is important to speak your mind, but there's always a time, a place for what you say. So it may not be in the immediate, but somehow it kind of like relieves you. There are some people that do well with speaking. There are some others that do well with holding it in. So it depends on personality also. But for me, I would think that it is important to speak out. But there's a question of how what is said is being said. So this generation, I mean, I work a lot with them, so I know there's the work generation such that you are giving me, I'm giving you back. As it is landing, I'm giving you times 10 of it. So, and that's sometimes maybe why a certain kind of people kind of like repel the younger ones, because they are really outspoken. And that goes against the way we've been raised, such that we've been raised as a generation of people to speak, I mean the younger ones. But in previous generations, they've always been known to, don't worry, don't say it, just keep quiet, right? And so that clash is happening. And I think that as you get older with age, as you get older, you are able to now choose the things you would respond to. So for me, there are times when somebody does something and I'm like, I don't have energy because I'm still going home to attend to my children. Let me just save my energy. But in some cases, you would actually trash it out. So I think that also matters. And then I'd already linked it with Gen Zs and the culture of silence that we've been raised in. Yes, over time.
I think for me, what I understand the question is, do we think people appreciate it when you come at them with, I'm speaking my mind, I'm telling you my full chest? Do people truly appreciate a person like that? And in my experience, I don't think so. Some people will say, tell me the truth, tell me, I want to know. But really, from my experience, I find that people really do not like being told the truth or come at them with your full chest. Or you find that you'll be asked to sit down, please just tell me exactly how you feel. It takes a really mature person and someone that has respect and love for you to put away their hurt feeling, their feelings of hurt or ego, and say, okay, I'm going to just listen to the words and believe that it's not coming, that there are no evil intentions or bad intentions about it. I've had conversations with friends or somebody I believe strongly is a friend. And when I hear the conversation somewhere else, and I'm like, but I sat down with you and I thought you understood the context. The words may have been hard to swallow, but you understood that the context and my intention was for us to have an honest conversation. But people, it's hard. I have also been in a position where I have someone who, even with my mom, I know that my mom has the best of interest, but there are some things she says that I report that to my sister. I say, can you imagine what mommy said to me? You know, but in what other way can someone be honest with you without them being honest? So I don't think people find it very comfortable. But then, as I said, if you have some maturity and you have some wisdom, you're able to separate your feelings, your ego, because it's really about your ego. Then there's the second part of this conversation where people feel that it's okay to tell you the truth harshly. I'm this sort of person. That's how I am. I tell you,
Drop it as hot. Drop it as hot.
Yes, I'll drop it hot. I'm blunt. You hear the words. I'm blunt. I'm not lying. I just feel that there's a nicer way of telling someone the truth. If you can, there's a kinder way of telling someone the truth. If you can. Yes, it's the truth that you're saying, but why pick the most critical or most harsh way to convey your message if you can find a kinder way of doing so? And why is it so important to tell it so harshly and then take away from really the message that you're trying to pass? You know, if this message the message should be more important than, you know, your feeling of your justification for just being honest. Do you understand? Honesty does not always have to be thrown at people. You know, there's a nicer, decent, more
civil way.
Of sharing honesty.
Let me come to you, Nima. Your thoughts on this?
My experience is a lot. A lot. It's a whole lot. So I found that people who come to you knowing that you're hurt maybe by their actions or the actions of their persons, let me not put it that way. They come to you asking you how you feel. And you honestly, truly open up. I come from a home where we are allowed to speak because we're all girls. My parents were really scared of us talking to the wrong person. So no matter the language you were speaking it, just speak your mind. It helped them in parenting. And so when I got the first experience of people asking you how you feel, I just say it the way it hurts me. So expressing it. But I found out recently that those same people pile it up. The moment you say, oh, I'd rather just, you say, you've always said this thing. You've always never, you know, and the person comes back and uses everything you've always expressed as you vilifying or something, and then label it in such a way that, you know, someone recently said, you're so disrespectful, you don't want to try, because I'm creating my boundaries. You know, I have learned recently, I don't say anything. I just do me. So you do, you're most likely going to get done. But I will not tell you. I don't have the energy to have the back and forth because I don't trust that you do it. Recently, I did it to my husband, sadly. He was like, Anima, I think you're not in a good place. And I'd be like, you are not ready for what is on my mind. I know for a fact you can't deal with it. And he'd be like, why do you think I can't deal with it? Because I know how it affects me. I am someone very giving. So if you do good to me, I will not stop saying it. The whole world will hear it. But if you do bad to me, be sure they will hear it as well. That's the kind of person I am. I take it all, everything in. That's the kind of person I am. People are wired like that. And so such a person now thinks, oh, the world cares about you. You want to go and be expressing how you feel. Trust me, there are more narcissists out there. People who will spin it and be like, that's how she says what she said was. Yeah. So in the Yoruba context, they will say, if you see two, tobari meji, mukondani. Don't say it all. Meaning his silence is golden. That person that is doing it might just want to come and know how badly it hurt you. They're not really ready to repair the relationship. So don't bother. Whatever you can do to, maybe if the relationship is such that it's so vital, it's so important, whatever you can do to hold it up, do. Whatever is within you. See,
I'm just trying to understand how we are raising our children to be confident, to say their mind, and looking at it from our own experience. Because looking at it, fast forward your life, you're not more mature, you've seen life. And you've raised a child to make her feel, just say it. And the kids are now becoming Gen Zs. They're growing up and they're going to their office. They're telling their boss, I know I've experienced in the boardroom. Oh, goodness, I got bitten so bad. You know, when you just open your mouth in the boardroom and one of my things was, former MD, Mr. Lemmy had to call me one day after so many boardrooms. call me to his office.
Auntie.
It doesn't happen like that. There's always a meeting before the meeting. This matter you are bringing out, go and talk to people. Go to their offices. Let them understand how it is. Understand it, then form a collective perspective. And then you bring it to the meeting because you've spoken to everybody else.
I think
You couldn't just...
specific advice.
That was the specific advice for a specific time. I'm just saying that I got burnt by speaking my mind
I mean,
consistently.
Going to people that you think the thing affects. Once someone said to me, I know you will go and tell this person and this person when I hurt you. Rather than just say, I think I've hurt you. So I said, this is the height of disrespect. Because the way I'm wired, I won't do it to you. I'll be very careful.
Let me take Abdul and I'll come back to you.
Make your phone call. I know after this, you'll make your phone call and deliberately went on hurting. You know? So when you now change, the same people you would have gone to and say, this is how this person made me feel. Like, that's so immature. You know, you complain everything as if you should soak it in. So, Adam, soak it in, do yourself. Do them.
Let me take Abdul. Thanks for calling your live from Anasarawa.
Not from Abuja. I'm calling from Abuja.
Oh,
Actually,
Abuja. Go ahead, Abdul.
Yeah. I am a first-time caller on this
Welcome
show.
to the show.
In fact, I want to bring you back a little bit about the topic you discussed with Dr. Tolu. I think you need to be discussing on things like this, from time to time, because this is what is always happening in the society these days. You will see so many, infidelity things happening in marriages, more especially in marriages. So I think you should be inviting people like that to educate, people about this kind of.
Thank you, Abdul. We'll definitely bring her back sometime. Let me come to you because I just read here, it said many Nigerians can't handle opinionated people, even though what you are saying is true.
Yes.
So we say it, speak your mind, say it as it is.
Especially when it is true.
You now speak it. You now know that way you just
Especially when it is true. Imagine telling someone that, the way you talk, do this, do that, just makes you outright evil to me. What you're doing is evil to me. Person will just store it. I'm like, I'm doing something evil to you. Rather than address it, and tomorrow you say, you disrespected me by calling me evil. But you wanted to know how the person felt and whatever they interpreted your actions to mean, So put it in context. Are you seriously innocent of what the person is saying, or is the truth of it that is hurting you?
So opinionated, I think a lot of people are using it, maybe is the new way of using it, but I've always known that opinionated people are not, they're a problem. Arrogantly express your opinions without recourse to the other person's feelings or anything. And it does not usually come also from a good place. It's arrogant, it's conceited, I will say it and however you feel. So that is what I understand as an opinionated person, And of course, nobody finds that sort of person appealing or wants to be in the same room as that sort of person. Do you want to be honest? That's different. I can be honest and I can be kind, as I said before. I can be honest and I can be decent about it. And I like the example that that you painted earlier, which is you can go from person to person. I found that sometimes when you express yourself in a group, how people respond in a group is different from how they respond individually. I think also that mistake we make, we're calling it Gen Z. Many of us made it as young people growing up as well, where as a child, you just open your mind and you just speak. I remember one of the things my mom used to caution me about. She'd be like, you have no tact. Even before I understood what tact meant, she'd be like, no tact, you just open your mouth, you don't pour. I'm like, and if I did not pour, I would not feel good. But then I saw maybe the bashing constantly, so I felt that also helped me, as I was growing up, to smoothing the edges a bit. I know, if you meet me, I'm someone that I can only tell you the truth, but I take my time. And you have to be ready to hear it, if it's something you want from me. But if you've done something to me, and you say that you're a friend, I will have the conversation with you. But what I find out that even in that space where I've made out the time, I've made the atmosphere decent, I still get backlash. And so I've learned. I will speak my truth. And I'll make sure that I'm doing it in a respectful manner. Then how you address it, how you take it, now that's your business.
Let me take this call from George. Thanks for calling, George.
Good morning, Morayo.
Good morning, you're live.
Greetings to all the ladies. Moreover, there is a saying that there is no wrong time to do the right thing.
Okay.
It is the same thing with expression of your mind. The truth of the matter is what should be expressed at any given time. The opposite of truth is diplomacy. It does not help. There are differences in people's nature, and there is a reason for that. When you draw from the truth, it is the ultimate benefit. You may not be able to draw from the truth instantly, but ultimately, it is the only source that benefits your soul. If you come out and you cannot express yourself correctly because there is no receptivity or the other person is not able to grasp what you are saying, as long as it represents the truth, you may not be able to grasp it immediately. It will eventually grow into it, and that's what we need or she needs. When you tell your partner how you feel, why should it be a disadvantage? If you postpone it, you are postponing the mental illness like the lady expressed earlier. So the best thing is to speak the truth, irrespective of whether your audience is able to receive it at that particular point in time. Because the truth is constant, but diplomacy is not constant. It fades away with time.
Thank you very much, George. Let me come to you, Toby, in a second, because in the political season, we're not politicians here, but I know that some politicians will tell you that it is this my mouth that put me in trouble. When we're sitting down with other politicians and I'm speaking, I'm saying what I want to do. And based on how I feel about a certain thing, I say it out. And people hold on to that thing. I know a politician who, he was saying all the things he wanted to do, how he wanted to do this, when he comes this, he's going to do this. Not only that the political gladiators were talking to, they were just wrecking it. Yeah, okay, so this guy is not going to play ball. When the opportunity came, obviously he was yanked out. Because he said, this guy, the way he has been speaking, that he wants to do this, he's not going to play ball with the status quo. That's his own perception. So he felt that the way I was speaking, the way I expressed myself, affected me. So is it therefore wisdom not to be expressive? Because this is what we're raising our kids to. Wherever you find yourself, say your mind. When they go to the office, the same thing. When they even get into marriage, some will say, it's not everything you tell your husband, though. Because you can't open your mouth, I'm in love, and there's some things, you now go and say it, and in that context, he might be okay. When he goes back to think about it, digest it further, he can hold it against you in future. Is that not the same way you did this, you know? So how do we marry being confident in who you are, saying it as it is because you believe it, and then not getting in trouble for saying it? Do you want to jump?
I think that saying the truth does not mean that you have to be rude. It doesn't mean you have to be saucy, saying that I've said my mind. You can actually say the truth in a nice way. You can actually process what you want to say. And that's the mistake I think some of us make, thinking that once I'm blunt, I'm saying the truth. You can be saying a lie and be blunt.
I'll be blunt.
Toby,
Thank you, Toby.
Wait, let's be serious.
And be blunt.
Do you want to hear that truth the person wants to say?
I want.
But sometimes it's easy. You know, he said something now, the last caller said, truth is constant, diplomacy is not.
Okay.
The person you're talking to might not be emotionally fit to be telling you that truth when you're asking, can we have this conversation? If the person now says, no, I can't have this conversation right now, I don't think it's appropriate, or I never want to have this conversation. I remember saying to someone in the past that I'm never going to have this conversation because I know how you're wired. I respect the relationship as it is. I'd rather just keep what you have done to me. But you know I have changed somewhat. And you want to have the conversation. Are you sincerely having the conversation so we can go back to being good friends? Or you just want to have it because you want to hear something? Because the truth is what it is. If, for instance, you've provoked a reaction, you'll be ready for whatever it will bring if that person is of value to you.
So I have an experience.
I want to.
So when I first got married, I used to be very blunt.
Can I pause you for a second? Okay. I'll take Blessing and I'll come back to you. Sorry about that. Blessing, go ahead. You're live.
Good morning.
Go ahead, Blessing.
Okay, I have an opinion. You know,
That baby is blunt.
Go ahead, Blessing. Oh, we really wanted to hear from. Let me let you take. So.
Okay. So when I first got married, I used to be very blunt. If my husband does something, I'm like, why would you? You know, and my husband said, please come. There's something called agbekale. The way you would say what it is that you want to say. I know that the intention is good. I know that you're saying it because you want us to get better in the house. but the way you're speaking about it is not the right way to go about it. I mean, so over time, I'd learned to speak properly in expressing the way that I feel towards him. It doesn't mean that I'm not saying the truth. I'm saying the truth, but because I now respect and honor his place, I'm able to properly say what I want to say. And so I realized that now, as against before that, if I say something, be like, okay, I've heard, and he moves. But now say, thank you for mentioning that. He applauds the fact that, yes, you are saying the truth, but it has changed. And I think that
so in the examples I gave earlier that led to this, where in a political circle, for example, even though you have great ideas, there's a way you say it. Maybe they will not see it as a challenge or a competition, they just see it as somebody who's contributing.
So what I don't want us to leave here with, and I think a lot of us make that mistake, is always assume that diplomacy is you telling a lie or pretending to be who you're not. It is just taking something tough or something, a hard conversation, and just delicately and sensitively, you know, expressing yourself. It does not mean that you're lying. And I like what you said, that you're blunt does not mean that you're honest. You can be bluntly lying to somebody.
Let me go on a quick...
And, okay, you want to go on the
break? Let me go on a break. When I come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.